the FA Cup run comes to a muddy end, shall we say, as the Mariners fall to a narrow 1-0 defeat to Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Premier League, or as I'm going to say, Championship Premier League team, which is the way I'd describe them, in a very bogged down match. There was not a lot of quality in it. The pitch was, well, awful. Really. It wasn't conducive to passing football at all. Effort, though, from the lads, 100% there. And it was just, it was a tough watch. Rain, not heavily, but was continuously coming down up until around about 50 so minutes or so, 55 minutes or so. It was a war of attrition, I would say, especially with conditions, and Wolves came away with it. The Mariners made, I believe it was 5 changes to the midweek win against Accrington. And we started with Jackson Smith in goal, former Wolves goalkeeper Jackson Smith, Harvey Rogers, Terrell Warren, Cam McJanet and Jaden Sweeney, Geza David Torrey, Dara Burns, Jamie Walker, Evan Corey and Charles Vernon, with Jays Cavia up front. And that was the 11 that started. Barley George pulled up a little bit. I think just before the game. So Geza came in and started that. And to be fair, did fairly well, in truth. I think it was very little quality, but the first chance, a real chance that Town had was Charles Vernon. He again he had a cut inside, a good shot which narrowly just went wide of Sam Johnston's post. Again, it was not a lot of quality, a lot of midfield play. It was kind of like, who would it fall to? Because the conditions was, like I said, they were boggy, it was muddy, it was horrible to sit in and watch it. It was kind of like, who would break, who wouldn't. Harvey Rogers tried to get a couple of runs in there. Cam McJanet needs a lot of credit, because when people like Armstrong or João Gomez did make good runs, he seemed to be always there, blocking everything. Wolves themselves didn't have many chances. They had one main one which came in the first half, where they smacked the bar with a free kick, to be fair, which was a good shot, but hit the post and went away. I think it was João Gomez that took that free kick, and to be fair, another good performance by Jackson Smith. I'm sorry I'm not talking about loads and loads of chances, because there weren't that many during this game. It was just kind of like when the ball would get in the middle, it's broke to us more. What we did do is we tried to play the ball quick, but it did keep getting stuck in the pitch, and Burns tried hard, Vernon tried hard, Evan kept on kept on working hard, as did Jamie Walker. Some nice touches by Jamie to try and get some mini attacks going, a couple of back heels, some came off, some didn't. A good couple of flicks. We had apart from that Vernon shot, we didn't really have many other chances besides. It was a quintessential old-style FA Cup tie. You know, you could see that the mud was just sort of lathering up the players, really, with how difficult the conditions were. They tried some early long throws, which Janet and Warren and Rogers, they dealt with fairly well. Sweeney, throughout most of the game, was trying to do the good interlinks with Vernon and with Burns and everything else that he was known for, and Corey. But there was times where the pitch just wasn't allowing the lads to play how they wanted, and it affected Wolves as well. Wolves, most of it was up in the air, or as Rob Edwards said in his post match, it was kind of head tennis. I think David Artell basically said it was a good old cup tie, and they got away with it. We got in a half time 0-0, and you're thinking, you know, considering for really the first 40 minutes or so, apart from that one free kick, Wolves didn't offer much either. You know, it was a very, very even game, and we went in 0-0, and you're thinking, okay, the rain started to subside a bit. There was some blue sky that popped up in the start of the second half, and again it was one of those, you know, Town making some threatening moves again with Evan, and Walker came off fairly early, just before the hour. Kevin Green came on quite early, but I thought Jamie did really well. He was very, very composed, and he had to be on a pitch like ours. And I thought everyone to a man did really well. We did, like I said, we bought on that. We bought on Andy Cook for Jace Kabier. Kabier was, his effort throughout the first half and the first part of the second half was good, but again you can see the hold-up play, and especially on a boggy pitch like that, very, very hard for Jace to really get any kind of rhythm or any, you know, whenever the pass would go, it would stick to a certain point. I think we had a better run of the ball in general of when it did break. It was rolling okay, but it would just get stuck in sticky corners of the pitch where the pitch isn't good. And, you know, unfortunately, a breakthrough was made in the second half. It was a good cross by João Gomez, just kneed in by Bueno. I won't even say it was poor defending as such, really. It was just a good cross. Bueno got his knee on it, and in it went from him for 1-0. The Mariners kept on trying. They were never ever out this game. They were never out the game. They were never outclassed. They were never. It was never a game of, you know. Loved the banter back and forth with the Wolves fans. You know, they were saying, you know, basically in terms how shit must you be? We're winning away, and we just threw back, which I thought was fantastic. How shit must you be? It's only 1-0. So I was a good bit of banter between the two sets of supporters, to be honest. Again, towards the end of it, we had a couple of, well, I say a couple of chances, maybe a couple of openings. Um, at times we looked a bit reluctant, maybe because it was getting stuck in the mud, to put the ball across like we did. We did bring Reece Staunton on with 50 minutes to go to try and maybe eradicate that. I don't think there was always enough balls to be put in the box, but I think that was down to probably starting Jays and not starting Andy. But at the same time, I think, everybody gave everything they had. We had one real good chance near the end where I think Staunton put in a great ball about the 88th minute, and Andy Cook got on the end of it but just couldn't direct more the power into it to get past Sam Johnston, and Johnson just held on to it. It was a very, very even game. Wolves in their last round beat Shrewsbury Town 5-0. Well, they definitely didn't do that this time round. And obviously our FA Cup adventure does end this season at round 4. So disappointing really, because it is a missed opportunity. Knowing how bad Wolves are, and it is true, they weren't good. At least when Brentford beat us, they beat us by 5. It could very easily, if this game had ended 0-0, I don't think anybody would have, even Wolves fans, I think, wouldn't have said, I think they'd have said, we don't want another 30 minutes. I think that, for us, is one of the best things. We didn't have to go extra time. Because I don't think the lads' legs would have taken it, to be honest, on the heavy service. And Artel pretty much disappointed to win, but very philosophical. Very, very philosophical to sort of say, in the end we've lost to a Premier League side, but we've held our own, whether it be through the pitch or whether it not. We've held our own through a game where you can literally see how poor they were. Just a few stats for you before my final roundup. The Miners had 55% of the ball. Only one shot on target each. 11 and 14 for Wolves. 16 touches in the opposition box for us. 19 for Wolves. Varney Jackson-Smith didn't really have a save to make. I mean, that just shows you as well how poor Wolves were, if that was the case. Ariel Jules, even. Fouls committed, they had 12 more than... They had 2 more than us, 12-10. We had 8 corners to their 2. That's disappointing that we didn't make more of the corners than we did. But I think, in general, 307 passes in general to 249. Our pass accuracy was better than theirs. 62.5 to 57.8. But we did make more backward passes. 47 to their 25. But same amount of forward passes. Long balls, we did 10 more than them. Successful final third ball passes, 77 for Wolves, 74 for us. Nothing really in the game. Total crosses, 26, 29 in the Mariners' favour. But again, it's just showing you that, we won 64% of the tackles as well. We made 14 tackles during the game, 23 for Wolves, 10 fouls committed on our end, 12, nothing in it. And that's what the stats are telling you. Really, genuinely nothing in this. It was a good finish off Bueno's knee. But, I did like Artel's statement after that when he said, "I don't think either side deserved to win it." No, I don't think either side did. I think if it had been 0-0 and went to extra time, I don't think anybody could have complained. But just on my final thoughts before I leave it over to you guys, I think we can take more from that loss than Wolves can take from that win. Showing sort of where we've come as a team, and if they want to moan about what our pitch is like, well, wait till you go. It's League Two. Get over yourselves. The weather's not great. You know, our club's not ploughed with money like Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, all this sort of stuff. So, but I will admit it was a very poor surface. But the ball was rolling. Yes, it was sticking in certain places, but let's be honest. Even before my time of watching football, I've seen highlights of footballers play on far worse pitches than that. Well, but at the minute it does not conducive to good football matches. But, you know, you have to adapt. And in the end, Wolves just slightly adapted better than us. But like I said, in general, this is all Wolves have got. All Wolves have got is the FA Cup. You know, if we'd have knocked them out today, they'd have got nothing. Because they're going to be in the Championship next season. Even the lovely Wolves fans that I met prior to the game, you know, I think even they were aware that they're on the way down, and it's about the FA Cup for them now, really. They go to Arsenal next. They're not going to win there. They're absolutely not. Obviously, we host Walsall next on Wednesday. We need to hope for some good weather because you can't postpone it for mud. The pitch has to become to the point where it is unplayable, and at the minute it's not unplayable, but it's not nice to see. But like I said, we can take more from this defeat, as in every game that we've played a team higher than us, there's only one team that's done the business, and that's Brentford, where we were literally taken apart. We're a good side, and I think, you know, we can now focus on the 16 games that we've got left in our league campaign, and there's no doubt that, you know, we'll have to say we've got enough for a playoff push. We've got threats all over the park. We've got, you know, quality players. Hopefully the pitch can get sorted out a bit more for Wednesday. But I take nothing but pride in that. I'm proud of them. It's like, you know, we've lost a game of fine margins. I'll use the margins term. It was a game of fine margins. Credit to Wolves. Congratulations to them getting through to the fifth round. But I would say now, the Grimsby line, we've got bigger fish to fry in the Factor League 2. If you were at the game today, do let me know what you thought of the game down below. If you watched it on TV, let me know how you saw it. The conditions definitely didn't help the game, but are you like me where, you know, we can be frustrated? I'm not even frustrated. It's one of these results that I'm not even frustrated about. I saw a couple of fans on social media say, one say they're frustrated about today. No, not really. I agree with Artel's assessment. I think we didn't do enough to win the game, but neither did they. They got the one shot on target. Their one shot went in. Our one shot didn't. And that was pretty much it, you know. Wolves, like I said, go through to the cup, and that really is all they've got left to play for. Us, we've got a lot more left to play for, but like I said, credit to the Wolves fans that I did speak to. Credit to the club, and I know you're going through a hard time right now, but good luck to you in the next round and the rest of the competition, of course. While we, Mariners fans, we head back to league action. Obviously, it'll be weather depending more than pitch depending. We'll see what happens as we host a team directly above us in Walsall that head to Blundell Park on Wednesday night. But leave me your thoughts down below on this game if you were at the game. By the way, a credit to the over 8,000 people that were there. A lot of credit for that, you know. But they've done us proud this year in the FA Cup. Another fourth round, can't really fault it. But leave me your thoughts down below on what you thought of the game. If you watched the game instead of, if you couldn't be at Blundell Park, how did you see the game? I'm sure, like everyone else, the conditions played a part in it. But no, it's a very successful 2 cup runs for the Mariners this campaign. And we move on, like I said, with our League 2 campaign with 16 games, 16 important games in the league left to go. Leave me your thoughts down below. Like, share, comment and subscribe. And we move on, guys. We move on, and I'll be back with a preview for Walsall. Obviously, we'll also be on weather watch as to where the game goes ahead. But as of right now, it will be. So I will be back, all Tuesday, with a preview for that one. In the meantime, guys, leave your comments in. Let me know what you guys thought. And we move on. Like, share, comment and subscribe. Up the Mariners. I'll see you very soon with the next one. Until then, we move on. See you later. Ta-ta for now.